Let me tell you a story. One about revenge, jealousy, about proving yourself, adversity. In this video, I'll try my best to explain the events that led up to the Catch Pro Enigma Series tournament and why things transpired the way they did. 8 men became 2. But let's go back to the beginning. 2 things before we start. 1, Cage Match is my main source for information. So unless I clarify where I got some information from, most of it's come from Catch or what I saw in person. Come from Cage Match. It is come from Catch, but the main source is Cage Match or what I saw in person. If not, I will cite in the video at that point where I got my source from. Mainly Twitter. And secondly, because you all have been waiting for this, because we said this at the beginning of the month, we're going to play a drinking game. Mysterious Blue Drink. That's totally not sponsored whatsoever. So every time I mention a wrestler who isn't the 8 wrestlers in the Enigma series, we've got to take a drink. So if I mention a wrestler other than Kev Lloyd, Depp McCarthy, Henry Faust, Keenan Krishna, Tony Wright, Adam Bolt, Najay or Danny Proper, if I mention any other wrestler other than that, we've got to take a drink. I've got 2 bottles. Let's see if we can go the whole time without it. And because I'm doing this so that I don't die, there are going to be very few cuts. So if I stumble over my words, we're just going to have to go through with that because I don't want to give myself alcohol poisoning for a Catch video. Okay. Let's begin. With Mr. Kevin Lloyd. He's a man who's recently returned to Catch back in December of 2025. And he challenged current GMAT champion Big T. He lost that match. And then in January, at Women's 10th Anniversary Show, he lost to Vucic. Granted, he wasn't supposed to be fighting Vucic, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that part of the story later. So, the last time Kev Lloyd was in Catch before this recent run, he was in the 2021 version of the Enigma series, and he was the runner-up, only falling to Tom Farewell. In his record in 2021, he managed 4 wins and 6 losses, but hasn't been seen since, according to Cage Match. Does he still have what it takes to go forth and win the Enigma series? Can he rise that step above, or has the 5 years taken its toll on Sexy Kev? Now he's taken on the Hound of Ulster, Declan McCarthy. Since Catch's return to being in operation in 2025, we've only seen Declan McCarthy on 3 separate occasions. He debuted against Big T at Gimme Danger 2025. He then made an appearance during the Catch Hostile Tournament 2025, where he reached the semi-finals, falling short to Joe Kessler. And at the 6th Anniversary Show with Intent, he defeated Henry Faust, who, lucky for me, is in the tournament. So, with 2 wins, because he got to semi-finals of Hostile, and 2 losses, it remains to be seen if Declan McCarthy can dominate on the Catch stage, but is this tournament his chance to prove it? Now, this match is a frantic back and forth between both parties, both men showing their technical prowess over each other. But in the end, McCarthy gets the job done with his signature power bomb, situating himself at the top of Block A. Though on shaky ground, as we did see him leaving, clutching his arm that Kev Lloyd spent the whole match targeting. We then move on to the second match in Block A, where we have Henry Faust. I mentioned him in this video, facing Det McCarthy at With Intent 2026. He's coming off a loss there, so it begs the question if he's coming in with the right mindset. If we look back a little further, we saw Henry Faust debuting, failing to beat, but challenging for the Catwitch champion at the time, Scotty Rourke. But aside from that, he hasn't been seen at Catch. So we'll see if he has what it takes tonight. Our final Block A fighter is the man named Keenan Krishna. He competed in the 2021 edition of the Enigma Series along with Kevin Lloyd, but Keenan only picked up 2 points. His other appearances pre the Catch hiatus was at New Art Riot in 2022, where he lost to Brady Phillips. Keenan didn't return to Catch until September 2025, where he faced former Northwest Strong member and current Catwitch champion, Scott Oberman, in which he tricked everyone to thinking he was retiring, but he pulled a Mark Emery, where 2 hours later he attacked Tony Wright after his match against Riley Nova. Since then, Northwest Strong have reformed bigger and better than ever, with the trio of Keenan Krishna, Chris Ridgway, and the man who's accompanying Keenan to the ring tonight, Teddy Ray. So Keenan is coming into the Enigma Series with momentum after he and Chris Ridgway defeated Danny Proper and Tony Wright in a tag match back at With Intent 2026. Can the Watcher redeem his Enigma Series performance from 2021, 5 years ago, or will he remain 2 Point Keenan? Well, we know by now because the match already happened, but you don't know that. But if you do know that and you're still watching this video, hey, thank you. Subscribe, hit a like. It really helps us out. So both men in this match prefer standing strong strikes and pinpoint offense to weaken the limbs of them. So we get a hard-hitting affair between both parties where they go back and forth multiple times. No one really having the advantage for that long during the matchup. Keenan, though, uses Ray's signature biting offense and a ref distraction to pick up the sneaky win over Faust, and he moves up to the top of Block A. Oh god, it's rocky. The camera's rocking. Move on to Block B, and this kicks off with the leading man, Tony Wright. Surprised that his music hit, but that's been talked over multiple times now. So he's only been around in Catch since it came back in 2025. Oh god. And he made his debut challenging, at the time, GMAT champion, Brady Phillips. He came up short. Then they entered the 2025 version of the Enigma Series tournament, where he only managed to get 1 point. However, it was a tie against eventual runner-up of the tournament and undefeated in the block phase of the tournament, Chris Ridgway. Though he did win the 6-man scramble match. And I'm not saying the names of who was in that because I'm not doing 5 separate drinks in one. After that, he gets attacked by Keenan Krishna, as I said before, and then has the tag match, as I said before, with his partner Danny Proper. Speaking of Danny Proper, that's who Tony Wright will be facing in this first Block B match. So, according to Cage Match, Danny Proper made his Catch debut at the Hostile Tournament 2023. He didn't compete in the tournament, but he did face RP Davies, where he came up short. Get used to me saying that. However, when doing my own research, cage match seems to be incomplete with the catch events. This is common in promotions that are more independent and underground and don't have people regularly updating cage match, like Miles and myself sometimes. Never Miles ain't there. So turns out Danny Proper competed in a Grimsby Rules match, a tag team match, a tag team Grimsby Rules, teaming with Tom Farewell. Did I drink for the first Tom Farewell when I mentioned him before? We'll do an extra drink. If I didn't mention him, there we go. Scotty Rourke. That's who they were facing. And Scotty Rourke's partner, Tyler Devlin. And then I've seen that he also had a match against 2-Bit Teddy Ray in September 2022. Oh, and also, Keenan had a tag match with Joe Kessler against the Banter Bus in April 2022. Just throwing it out there. My source is the Catch Twitter account, so if you're wondering, that's where I got it from. So the next time Danny Proper is in the catch ring is in March of 2025, where he faces Scotty Rourke in a one-on-one Grimsby Rules match. Due to Proper getting involved in Scotty Rourke's title challenge against Joe Kessler. But then once he's gotten rid of Danny Proper, Scotty Rourke, I've got a drink again, and wins the title. We won't see Danny until Christmas of 2025. I've done half the bottle and we ain't even gone through 3 matches yet. We don't see Danny until Christmas of 2025, where this is a Christmas Open challenge, but no one answered. Danny now going back to being a face. He did become co-host for the night, and I got a Santa hat thrown at me, so, all parties got, something good out of this. This wasn't until Tony Wright came out and is like, and instead of having a match with Keenan, he just wanted a brawl. He didn't even want to talk. So those two fight. Danny Proper comes out, to break it up. But so does Chris Ridgway. Ridgway attacks Danny from behind. Damn it. Setting up the tag match for With Intent 2026. So these former allies, they're kicking off Block B. Which one of them can come out on top and jumpstart their Enigma Series run? The camera is falling. Gotta move it up with the cheese. Due to having history with both men, Keelan Krishna, the Watcher, came out to watch this match with Teddy Ray. It was the reason they lost that January tag match, because he interfered. Due to both men being friends in this match, there was a lot of counters. They know each other's moveset really well. An offense leading to a match where no one really has the upper hand for very long. After a bad landing to the outside, Tony is on the back foot. He's got an injured back, but he keeps trying in this match. He keeps trying to get back into it, but unfortunately he can't. And after a series of roll-ups, Wright just doesn't have the strength to kick out. And Danny Proper wins this match and has earned his first set of points in the Enigma Series. And is at the top of Block B. Luckily for me, our next two competitors are both catch debuts, so I won't be saying other people's names, which should be good for me. Our next competitor, making his catch debut within the Enigma Series, never stepped in the catch ring before, but it is catch season. It's NAJ. Will this be a stroke of beginner's luck, or is he doomed for failure? We'll see as he takes on the 8th and final man in the Enigma series, Adam Bolt. He's another newcomer to the catch stage, but unlike NJ, he has got more experience, having wrestled since 2018. Will the experience help him, or is he too slow for this new generation? Let's find out. So due to having the youth and agility on his side, NJ took over in the early stages of the contest. But every time Bolt got the opportunity, he tried to slow things down and strike NJ with hard-hitting offense, trying to weaken the resolve of the other man. After a top rope cutter, Adam Bolt picks up the win and 2 points in the Enigma series, making the most of his debut. So, after each round of the Enigma series, there's going to be an intermission where we take a short break and we'll see what's going on in the wider catch roster, So get your bottles ready. We're talking about the women's division and the catchweight women's championship. So it means that every single name I mention I take a drink for. Fun. We start off this story with Lily Winter. She's gone from catch ring announcer to their women's champion. Her first match, according to Cage Match, was 2023 as she faced Leah Raven one-on-one. She then strings this up with another couple wins in triple threats against Ivy and Leah Raven. So you think, with Ivy thrown into the mix, her chances of winning drastically go down. But no, she wins that triple threat match and gets on the radar of the catchweight women's champion. Unfortunately, she didn't get a title opportunity yet, but she does, however, beat Lucy Sky in the same night. She then teams with Harley Hudson to beat Violet Vendetta and Melissa Price. You know the logo. And that's when we get the catch hiatus. When it returns, the undefeated run continues because she beats Helen Charlotte Gamble and Casey Owens. I promise I did slip twice there. So she finally gets a shot and loses to Lucy Sky. Stop showing the logo camera. Now at 6-1, she has to work her way back up in the division, but is still situated near the top due to winning 6 matches previously. After winning more tag matches, she gets another shot in a 4-way match with Lana Austin and Holly Barlow also there. Lucy Sky retains, but in December 2025, Lily Winter wins a triple threat number 1 contenders match against Molly Spartan and LA Taylor. So she's the number 1 contender, and at With Intent 2026, she will take on Lucy Sky one final time, career versus title. And she wins! She wins the title. She's your catchweight women's champion finally. And now that she's newly crowned, she wants to be a fighting champion. So at the first week of the Enigma series, she takes on, debuting to catch, Melissa Fierce. Oh God. Fierce comes up short. But the next week she has another chance to prove herself against Holly Barlow. Damn it, I didn't drink for the second time I mentioned Fierce's name. That's the third time. So we need to do 3 now, because I also mentioned another wrestler, and I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to do 4. We're smashing it. So Barlow wrestled at Catch twice before. Oh, my tongue's blue. both times failing to capture the Women's Championship. But before this match can begin, Lily Winter interferes and cements that she wants to be a fighting champion. She wants to defend it at every show she can. So she's putting the belt on the line in this, making it a triple threat match. Meaning that Barlow, once again, has not wrestled a match that wasn't for the Catch Women's Championship. That is 3 sips I have to do. However, Lana Austin comes out and is like, hey, if anyone can just come out and make changes to the match, I'm going to be involved in this. It's now a 4-way between the 4 of them. We're nearly done with bottle 1. I only have 2. This is a problem. And the camera's moving. Oh, God. Things aren't going right in the Catch recording. So Lana Austin, oh that's another one, has been at Catch since its creation, where she faced Session Moth Martina and Lizzie Evo in a triple threat elimination match and lost. Yeah, that's empty. Second bottle might be a problem. According to Twitter, she faced Emerson Jane in a Women's Enigma Series Block A match. But aside from that post, I've never heard of the Women's Enigma Series tournament, and I can't find any record of it online or anywhere. So, please Catch, if you know what happened to the Women's Enigma Series, please tell us, because that seems really interesting. And please, if you can, do another one, because I love the Enigma series, as you can tell by this video. So, the next cage match recording of Lana Austin's matches in Catch is a 4-corner survival match in June 2023, where she faced Violet Vendetta, Zizzy, and Ivy. But on Cage Match, for some reason it's listed as a tag match, so if anyone knows what happened there, drop it in the comments. I've got to drink 4 times. There's drink on the laptop now. We can clean that later. So then, after that, Lana Austin was a part of the 4-way that I mentioned previously. So, but now we'll talk about this 4-way that's happened. So, in this match, Barlow and Austin worked together to isolate Fierce and Winter. And seems all going well until Barlow betrays Austin. But Austin's happy about that, because she would have done it first in Barlow's shoes. This leads to every woman for herself, and it looks like Austin has the match won, having Melissa Fierce in an armbar, but Lily Winter hits her finisher and covers Holly Barlow for the win as Melissa Fierce taps out at the armbar. That's 13 drinks. Never say I'm not committed. It's not even the alcohol, it's just trying to drink. I'm just trying to do all the sipping. So, thinking that she should be the champion because the armbar was locked on first. Lana Austin attacks Lily Winter after the match and insists that she should be the Catch Women's Champion. I'm going to do that 2 more times before I move on to what happened the week after. Oh. So next week, Austin comes out and she insists she's the champion. Melissa Fierce comes out and is like, hey, you know, on any other day, I would have had your number. So they challenge each other for a number one contendership for the Catchweight Women's Champion, and Austin wins, and it sets up the Gimme Danger match, Winter versus Austin. That's 5. We're halfway through the bottle and I haven't even gotten to the second part. Oh god. Little addendum here. Was going to move on to the next part of the Enigma series, but I just want to add this little bit in. So cast your minds back to the triple threat: LA Taylor, Molly Spartan and Lily Winter. During that match, Lucy Sky was in the crowd, hits LA Taylor with the belt, meaning to hit Lily Winter but missed, and so they now have a grudge match set for Gimme Danger. That's 6 more drinks. Oh god. Still have 2 weeks and the men's division to cover. We're back in the tournament and back in Block A. And we return with Kev Lloyd. You can say his momentum has slowed down heavily because he hasn't picked up a win since his return to Catch, going 0-3 since Catch's hiatus has ended. It's a stark contrast from the 2021 Enigma Series prime Kev Lloyd. It's do or die now as he faces Keenan Krishna, who is now 2-1 in Catch since his return and looks to continue his winning ways. In 2026, he is undefeated. Since January to April, hasn't lost a single match. So, you know, good for him, the Watcher. There's a lot of parallels between the two men here. Both of them competed in the 2021 Enigma Series. Both had an extended break from Catch, even after the hiatus. Both of them returned in late 2025, and both have fought current title holders in their matches back. But still, Keenan seems to have the advantage here. And if Keenan can knock off Kev Lloyd, he does 2 things. He knocks Kev Lloyd out of the tournament, and he positions himself in pole position to win Block A. So will he get the job done? Let's find out. Something to know in the match is that Teddy Ray is absent from ringside, in contrast to his first week, and as we soon see in his 3rd week. Just something to think about. During the match, Keenan is focused on Lloyd's arm, due to Lloyd being a technician specialist, with the match being a technical showcase, showing a different side to Keenan that we haven't seen since his return. Though Keenan does go to the well a bit too many times with the strong dropkick, it still seems effective even late into the match. And he needs to do that in order to keep up with Lloyd's superior technical prowess. He's grappling circles around him. It only the strong strikes and the palms that's able to keep Lloyd down. With a Death Valley driver, Keenan picks up the win. He now moves to 4 points on the board, and Kevin Lloyd is eliminated from the tournament. He cannot win. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink for mentioning a wrestler not on the tournament at the beginning of that paragraph. Being careful with my words so I don't end up having to take 2. What do you think of the setup? Is it good? Back there? Dr. Proctor mug? Ah, damn it. He's not even at any of the shows. It's just because I mentioned the mug. So now, we return to Henry Faust, currently 0-3 in catch. But to be fair, his matches have been against champions and other Enigma Series competitors. Why does it keep moving back so much? People don't just want to see my forehead. Oh God. But tonight he faces someone who's already beaten him in the catch ring this year, in fact, Declan McCarthy. With his catch record currently at 3-2 and the head-to-head record against Faust at 1-0, Declan is a heavy favourite entering this matchup. And after last week knocking off Kevin Lloyd, Declan sits at 2 points. A win here would tie him with Keenan, leading to next week's match being winner take all. But if Faust wins, he keeps himself fighting with a chance to win the tournament, though his win will be with a lot of asterisks, as certain matches need to go his way in order for him to win. Who is going to come out the victor? Will Faust avenge his loss in January? Or will Declan go 2-0 against Fausty? Let's find out. With both men being hard-hitting machines, this is a technical chop fest if I've ever seen one. They had a lot of fight at their futures in the tournament, hanging the balance. The ropes were used a lot in this match, both wrestlers having to use many rope breaks to get out of each other's submissions. We see McCarthy hit his signature powerbomb, but instead of going for the pin, he wanted to make Faust tap out, and that was his crucial mistake. This was just enough for Faust to turn the tide, locking in a submission attempt to make McCarthy tap. Henry Faust now has 2 points, tied with Declan McCarthy on 2 points, and with Keenan on 4 points. It means that all three of them could still win the tournament, but Keenan has the major advantage. It's his to lose. What will happen next week? We'll find out in like 20 minutes because I got to talk about Block B. So Block B opens with Adam Bolt now 1-0 in catch. He's looking to continue his winning form. Was it beginner's luck, or will he be able to come out on top in this match? He knows that if he wins this match, he'll be at the top of Block B, out of sight of anyone else who could catch him. His opponent is a man he knows all too well, Mr. Tony Wright. These two men have a history in true grit wrestling, but now they bring their rivalry to the catch stage. Tony has a catch record of 2-1-5. It's not a pretty record, but it doesn't define him. Remember, if Tony loses this match, he will be eliminated from the tournament and won't be able to catch Adam Bolt, who will be on 4 points. In this match, we see the time limit being used to its max capacity. These have a history of going on for 20 minutes and 30-minute matches, so 10 minutes isn't long enough for either of them, but they're able to make do with what they can. Which one has enough left in the tank? It's unclear. They go back and forth, but a second rope claim to fame is just enough for Tony to pick up the win in the tournament and tying him with Adam Bolt. We head back to the other match in Block B. Najay, the only person not to have a point in Block B yet. If he loses, he will be out of the tournament. And his opponent, Danny Proper, after knocking off Tony Wright last week, Danny Proper is in pole position to take charge of the block, mirroring Block A, making it 4-2-2-0. But will he be able to knock off Najay? Najay looking for his first winning catch. Proper, according to Cage Match, having a record of 1-3. But will that be enough to get him over the line in this matchup? In my opinion, this is match of the tournament. It's the most fascinating match in the series. Both men took turns playing the heel. Both men made it clear they will do everything to win this series. They're desperate to win by any means available to them. This match also stretched the time limit like the last one, leaving it down to the last 10 seconds. After counters and counters, submission attempts by each man, Najay locks in a submission hold and taps out Danny Proper with only a few seconds remaining. By the end of week 2, everyone in Block B are tied on 2 points, leaving it to the last week to determine our winner. In this part of the video, I'm going to cover both of Catch's men's titles, starting with the GMAC Championship, currently held by Big T. I went a whole segment without being able to drink. Let's go. Before this Enigma series, there were 2 men at the top of the Catch rankings, tied on wins, tied on losses. That's the super athlete Troy Ryan and Brady Phillips. During the first week of the Enigma series, the GMAC Commission told them both to sort out the rankings, sort out who was the top dog, making it clear they wanted to know who was going to be the next one to challenge the champion. It seems that both of them came out ready for a fight, but Brady Phillips brought Riley Nova as backup and Troy Ryan seemed out of his element. That's until Shreddy, of all people, came out to save him and a tag match were made for the main event of that night. It was a pretty good contest, but we're clear that Shreddy was just too much for the heel team and that he made the difference during the match until Adam Bolt interfered in the match. Even after his match was done, he interfered and gave Brady Phillips and Riley Nova the win. Get rid of that logo. That leaves the Catch records at 8-5 and 8-6 respectively. This is because Phillips has been with Catch since 2021 and has been a former GMAC champion, while Ryan has won the 2025 version of the Hostile tournament, though has only been in Catch since 2023. Also head to head, it puts it at 2 wins to Ryan and 1 to Phillips. Actually no, it's 2 wins to Phillips, 1 to Ryan. Damn it, that's 4 drinks. I'm not going to have enough for the final part. We don't hear from either of them until week 3, where it's scheduled that Troy Ryan will take on Ryan Nova. And in this match, Adam Bolt once again is at ringside to help. It's looking like Ryan has the match won when Brady Phillips interferes, causing a DQ win for Ryan. And that's when Big T comes out and says, if you can't settle this, I will. At Gimme Danger, it's going to be the super athlete Troy Ryan versus, and I quote, Brady Shithouse motherfucking Phillips to crown the interim champion. That is 7 drinks. On the other men's championship side, the Catchweight Championship, currently held by Scott Oberman, after he defeated Scotty Rourke in January. The board decided to do something interesting and let Scott Oberman host an open challenge for his title. He picked at what the time we thought was Skinny Dude, but was a wrestler known as Riley Miles. He's best known for working in House of Pain and Elevation Wrestling. I think that's 4. After distracting the ref and hitting a cheap shot, Oberman picks up the win in about 6 seconds. Next week he comes out again and intends to give a non-wrestler a shot at the title. It should have been the wrestling messiah Jeebus, but Pele stole his opportunity by getting in the ring and stealing the microphone. Pele being a regular at Future Shock, this marks his catch debut, and after nearly knocking the lights out and a lot of throat shots, Oberman picks up the win, putting his catch record at 11 to 1 to 3. The one is a no contest. This is because he was the winner of the 2025 Enigma Series and went unbeaten in 2025 in catch. Fun fact. After the match, it is revealed that Oberman's challenger for Gimme Danger is none other than former Northwest Strong member, Luke Jacobs. I think that's 3 drinks. Now, he hasn't been in catch since the first ever show, winning a tag match. However, he is a staple of Red Pro and Progress. But that'll be interesting to watch, as it's the only Northwest Strong member that hasn't lost to Oberman. Now back to the tournament. We're back with Block A, the final Block A matches, and who better to start with? Kev Lloyd. We always start with Kev Lloyd. He's sexy Kev. No. Even though he has 0 points and mathematically cannot win, he's determined not to end up with the duck egg, and he doesn't want to end up with nil points this year. His opponent is Henry Faust, currently on 2 points. He needs tonight to go exactly his way. He needs to win this match and then hope that Dec McCarthy beats Keenan Krishna, because tiebreakers are decided via head-to-head. And because he beat Dec McCarthy, he'd win the block. Though he lost to Keenan Krishna, and Keenan would also still be on 4 points. So I don't know how that will work. Maybe whoever beat Kev Lloyd the quickest, because he's the only one not involved in the tiebreaker, maybe that's how they would have settled it. Judging by how I'm speaking, that is how it played out. Now, both of these men have shown in the Enigma Series tournament that they can mimic each other's styles perfectly, with Faust showing some technical prowess against Dec McCarthy, and Kev Lloyd showing he can strike with the best of them, ironically also against Dec McCarthy. It looked to be over nearly immediately with a sweet roundhouse kick, but Lloyd fights underneath and kept the pace of the match to a minimum in order to gain back control. However, after multiple strikes to him, Lloyd is able to weather the storm and find his number again and again. Faust is forced to tap in the middle of the ring, eliminating him from the tournament, making the next match winner takes all in Block A. Kev finishes the tournament on 2 points, and so does Faust. Technically, you could argue Kev got third, because in the head-to-head he beat Faust. But that's neither there or here nor everywhere. Dec McCarthy comes out to congratulate Kev Lloyd and mock Faust for losing, but Faust reminds Declan that the burden's all on him now. A win is the only way Dec can win. Yes, that makes sense. A win's the only way you can win. Quote me on that. Because if Keenan draws, he would still win the block, being on 5 points. Faust then comes up to the Red Arch Terrace with us, and he sits with us and he shares his popcorn with us because he's a very nice man. With Declan already in the ring, we might as well have the final Block A match of the Enigma Series. He paces around the ring, clearly rattled by Faust, when we get the Watcher making his entrance alongside Teddy Ray. The crowd reminds both men that Faust is watching as the bell rings, and Keenan immediately has a strategy to outlast McCarthy, where he's just going to roll out the ring and abuse the count-out rule, which was pretty funny. And that's what he spends most of the match doing, just taking the piss out of McCarthy. Rolling, using the ropes, count-outs. When they actually get in the ring, McCarthy pokes Keenan's eye, or at least that's what he claims, and the crowd seems to agree that McCarthy poked the eye. But the ref, because the ref didn't see, he lets it slide. Cheeky deck. And then Ray helps Keenan time waste by fanning him and feeding him water. McCarthy takes the rage bait, and that's when Keenan pounces on him, beating him, locking him in a submission. McCarthy tries a roll up, but Keenan gets to the ropes, and McCarthy's submission hold is also stopped by the ropes. Now McCarthy's successfully been rage baited. He just drop kicks him into the bar, which was wicked. A powerbomb seems to be enough, but Keenan is able to kick out. A set-out powerbomb should be it, but just like he did with Faust, McCarthy goes for the submission instead of the easy pin, and Keenan is able to withstand it and not tap out. Now getting down to the wire here, Deck McCarthy gets desperate and tries to put Keenan down, but Keenan's able to counter it, and a roll-up almost gets the job done, but Deck McCarthy kicks out. Now both men seem to go for the win, Keenan abandoning his strategy of time wasting, and they trade blows, both running on empty tanks. McCarthy seems to have it won with a back suplex, but Keenan's foot kisses the middle rope just in time, breaking the count. And McCarthy, he tries desperately for a quick set-out powerbomb, but it's too late. The timer hits 0 just as Keenan's back is slammed into the mat. This match ends in a draw. Keenan ending the tournament on 5 points. Deck McCarthy ending it on 3, becoming 1 point McCarthy. And Keenan Krishna gets a thank you from the crowd as he wins Block A of the tournament, confirming himself to be in the final. He celebrates, and McCarthy crashes out, looking for Faust, who has gone off by this point because he's happy. McCarthy grabs the mic, calls him, and I quote, a Geordie Ginger Gimp. The crowd calls Deck McCarthy 1 point wanker, and McCarthy challenges Faust to a Pure Rules match at Gimme Danger, and that concludes Block A. Before we move on, just a little addendum to add to this as it relates to the Enigma series. After losing the Catchweight Championship to Scott Oman, Scotty Rourke returned after the Block A matches to face Judas Gray in their catch debut. Scotty Rourke won and then announced that because he was busy being the Catchweight champion, he missed the sign-up date for the Enigma series but wanted to participate. So because now of this Pure Rules match happening, he wants to be inserted into the Enigma series Scramble match and got his wish. So now there's 5 people that will be in that match. Begs the question if there's going to be a surprise 6th entrant, but that remains to be seen. I'm going to do 3 drinks because I mentioned 3 different wrestlers not in the tournament. Right, let's go! Block B opens with Danny Eat the Rich Proper. Another nice man who came out with a Monster Energy. I also had a Monster Energy and he cheers me. That was nice. He's currently on 2 points and needs to win here in order not to end up in the Scramble match along with Kevin Lloyd. His opponent is Adam Bolt, who's also on 2 points, and he's not a very nice man. The mission is clear. It's do or die here. Winning is everything. Keenan Krishna joined us on the balcony because he wants to know who his opponent's going to be. Danny told him to fuck off, and the match began. Danny starts off with just punching him strong in the face, which sends Adam Bolt down, but accidentally knocks the lights when he had him in the corner, and that gives Bolt an advantage to get back in the match. Bolt bites Proper's arm when the ref fixes the light, and then has Proper on the back burner. Bolt insults the merch lady, which allows Proper to get back into the match as Danny Bolt has his eye off the prize, and then a big boot, which, whoo, that was massive. Bolt kicks out though. After several more pin attempts, and using the ropes to stop a submission attempt, Bolt is able to get back up and exchange counters with Proper. He locks in the sharpshooter, but Bolt pulls out the ref's communicator, and as the ref is distracted, he pokes Danny Proper in both the eyes, and then with a roll-up, wins. That result means that both Proper and AJ can't win, because remember, tiebreakers are based off head-to-head, and with AJ losing to Bolt in the first week, AJ, even if he does get 4 points, can't win the block. We move on to the final match in the tournament. Tony Wright and AJ. Tony Wright coming out with a lot of weight on his shoulders, because if he wins, he gets to have his one-on-one match that he hasn't been able to get with Keenan Krishna since he attacked him. But if he loses, then he goes into the scramble match. AJ, of course, not being able to win, but AJ has not beaten Tony Wright at any point during his career. So this is for pride, basically, to say that he can beat Tony. And because at the moment it's 0-1 to 2, because 1 was a no contest. But he hasn't got a win over Tony yet, so AJ's still giving it his all. After a handshake, Tony tries for a quick roll-up because he needs the points, but AJ's the quicker of the two men and quickly takes control of the matchup. Keenan also watching from the balcony again. AJ, like all in AJ's matches, he's like a rabbit with a shotgun on 5 cans of Red Bull in July. He's just bam, 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 thank you, ma'am. A back and forth affair begins, with both men having scouted each other due to their previous encounters in Future Shock and other places. AJ seems to target the leg of Wright, which had been bugging him since he had that bad fall in week 1, but Tony's able to persevere despite AJ's killer instincts that he's got since the tournament began. A Ghanaian driver gets a 2.8 count, but Tony manages to survive, and this starts to annoy AJ. He gets to the top rope, insults Mark on commentary telling him to shut up, but that gives Tony enough time to get out of dodge of the dive. And this seems to be fatal as Tony hits the pedigree, but with Tony landing on his bad knee means he can't make the cover in time. The two men trade blows, tanks nearly empty, and trading submission holds when a famouser out of nowhere puts AJ down for the 1-2-3, meaning Tony Wright wins Block B. It is set in stone. Tony Wright versus Keenan Krishna for the Enigma Series champion at Gimme Danger, while scramble match is set. AJ, Danny Proper, Kevin Lloyd, Adam Bolt, and Scotty Rourke. So I would have ended this video, but that was before I decided to cover the whole Gimme Danger card. So I thought, there's one match I haven't covered, I might as well throw it in here. And I saved this for last because this story starts at 2025 Gimme Danger. And this one will have deadly consequences. So, there's a man called Ian Skinner. He makes his catch debut in the 2025 Enigma Series and does pretty well for himself. He scores 4 points. He beats Tony Wright in it, but falls short because in his block is the great Chris Ridgway. But 4 points is respectable. In this year, he could have won the tournament. But who was the other person he beat? Aiton Steen. Now, they didn't meet in the scramble match, despite both not winning their block in the Enigma Series. But that's because Skinner had gotten involved with Ridgway's and Steen's match, trying to force the DQ on Ridgway to guarantee himself the block. as well just down it. It's the last one. We nearly got there in the end. So Skinner was banned from competing in the scramble match because of his cheating. Like Southampton in this year's playoffs. They don't meet again until 2025, and this is the shooting point, the starting point, the nexus point of why this match is happening. Because Steen, after he had, at Hostile, he had an exhibition against Brady Phillips and lost. He then has a match with Scott Oberman and loses again. He's on a losing streak. And they run into Ian Skinner. Ian Skinner's had a match right after Steen's. Skinner makes fun of Steen, and Steen kicks Skinner in his pair of Ians, just hoofs it right in there. And that causes Skinner to lose the match. So he gets a restraining order against Steen, and they don't see each other until January. Now, with intent, they're both on the card, but before they get to their matches, they're on the merch table. Now, from my perspective, I were buying raffle tickets. They were, next to where the raffle tickets were selling. I look over, see them arguing, and I think to myself, Steen, just knock him out. Next thing you know, Skinner's been thrown into my back, and then the two just start brawling next to me. I just wanted me raffle tickets, man. What's happened there? So with security eventually separating them, management decides enough's enough sneak attacks on each other before matches. You two are going to have a one-on-one match, and it's going to be a dog collar match. Give me danger. That brings us to the 2026 Enigma Series. In the first week, Steen comes out, interrupts Mark, who's doing that night's announcements, calls out Skinner, swears about 15 times in 1 minute, and promises to take Skinner's soul, and says that if he's a man, he'd come to the Red Arch so they can paint the arch with their blood. The next week, Skinner gets a chance to talk in their promo. Got an eye patch on, looking like an irate pirate. The crowd doesn't let him talk at first, but eventually he's able to waffle out his promo. And that, when the crowd says that they want Aiton, Skinner is sent over the edge. He threatens Aiton with a nutcracker while wearing a fluffy coat, looking like he's in the Macklemore thrift shop video. After AJ beat proper that night, we cut to the back where they're both brawling. Steen keeping their promise, but getting hit by Skinner with what looks to be a brick. Just a brick lying around in the car park. So then we get to the final week of the Enigma Series. After being bloodied from the head, getting blood in their eye, Steen has signed the contract with their own blood and says Skinner still hasn't signed. Skinner comes out looking like with a flasher coat, looking like he's a flasher, looking like Inspector Gadget just got lost in farm foods. And he gets to the ring and refuses to sign the contract because he wants a safe stipulation and says Catch will just have to come up with a new one because he doesn't think that it's worth endangering himself for people who don't care about him. Steen reminds him that Catch is the only place he's taken seriously and people pay to see him get the shit kicked out of him. This leads to a brawl on the outside, hitting each other with clipboards and pens. Steen goes for a dive, but Skinner yanks the chain that Steen had been wearing because he brought the dog collar and brought a chain. In the brawl, Skinner had attached it to him and then pulls it when Steen goes for the dive and then signs the contract after Steen wipes out. With a simple fucking worth it from Steen, the match is set. So that's your Gimme Danger card for 2026. By the time of release, it's going to be this Monday, the 25th, at Gorilla in Manchester. Now, why did I just recap this whole history when you could have just looked it up on Cage Match?